So, talking about duration, usually the Himalayan treks are between 5 to 7 days, and sometimes it goes even beyond 10 days, depending on the climatic conditions, I would say. So, in case you are planning to take your flight and get back to your home place, actually, you should keep at least 12 to 15 days of time with you handy in case you get a buffer. Go out once you're back to the base camp and explore city. Take a day handy for you for that. If you talk about the specific itinerary, talking about the trekking, it is between in the range of 5 to 6 days, and it also depends on the different heights what you're going, as well as the vendors with which you are going. So make sure that you plan it in that way. Talking about the itinerary now, I think 1 or 2 days once you reach the base camp are spent in your acclimatization walks, rappelling, and the steps which makes you ready for your trek. And then I think when third day or fourth day, when you start with your the final treks, the treks are usually divided into three next camps. You start morning, and then early evening, by maybe early sunset, you reach the camps. The last leg, when you move from third to the fourth one, that's the most toughest one, I would say, and that's across different expeditions what you will go for. So make sure that you are prepared for that. And there are actually three things which I usually talk about, and that is called as sag, which is it's steep because that's the final leg. You're anxious yourself because you're about to reach the summit, and third, you're tired. So that's the toughest patch. But apart from that, when you call about descent is I know it's pretty fast. You don't have a lot of camps. Sometimes people even descend from heights of even 10,000 feet within a day, and sometimes it goes around couple of days. That's pretty fast compared to the ascent part of it. That's whole about brief itinerary, and this itinerary is something which you will find across different expeditions. So make sure when you reach there, you ask your trek leads about what are the camps, and how long is the walk, so that you're mentally very much prepared on daily basis how much of the walks you will be doing, in fact, or when you reach the camp, how's the itinerary would look like. Yeah, that's about the itinerary. So which time of the year is most suited for going for Himalayan treks? So I would say that you should aim for March to June, because in that time most of the highest peaks are actually open in the heights of 12 to 14,000 feet, and at the same time you have this receding snow line, and you have this beautiful clearer skies and the beautiful landscape. Basically, this is the ideal time to experience the best Himalayas can offer, and at the same time your summits would be in the range of 12,000 14,000 feet. So that gives you an overall complete package of going for these expeditions. Like for example, Sandakphu is one of the famous one, and you are able, from the summit you can see the four tallest mountains. That's one interesting trek which people usually go for, but there are many others the Sarpas, Chandrakhini. So these are some of the good ones, and even the beginner can opt for the Chandrakhini ones, or the in the heights of 11,000 12,000 feet. So these are some of the good ones which you can go for. But apart from that, when people who are completely interested into the glacier treks or the snowfall treks, then you should aim for going into the patch of December, Jan, Febs, or Jan, actually December, Jan, where you have snowfall, you have temperature going into the minus degrees. So it's pretty tough, I would say, for a beginner and for going for this particular timeline. But I think if you are prepared, if you have already seen your itinerary, if you are mentally prepared, then yeah, you can give it a shot. Apart from that, I want to focus even on monsoon and post-monsoon treks. Usually people prefer going for monsoon and post-monsoon to the south side of it. So if in case you get an opportunity to or try for Himalayan treks, you can surely go for it, like Valley of Flowers, Hamta Pass. These are some of the treks which you can explore during the time of monsoon and post-monsoon. Apart from that, whenever you plan it, be prepared about the itinerary, about the climatic conditions. That's very important, so that you plan it well. And at the same time, whatever the essential gears are, which actually we talked about in the first video, you should keep all that things handy. So talking about the budget, yeah, very interesting subject, and I think it's a biggest question. So let's divide the budget into two broad buckets. First is obviously something which is fun time investment, in which you are taking your essential gears, essential backpacks, regular stuffs what you want. So whenever you do that, take your time, have those quality things in place. It gives you a durability as well as whatever investment you are making. It has a better ROI. Then talking about some recurring investments, like when you register for a trek, or maybe your flight tickets, your traveling expenses, okay, your food, what will be carrying. Okay, so what you can do is like you can optimize it, but it is something like you can add on. So it's more of an add-ons which you go for. You can optimize based on that. Like I would really suggest, like if you are registering for a trek group, make sure that you figure out like which is the best one, how much reviews people have given to that particular trek group for any particular expedition, and then based on that figure out with which trek group you want to go. Also, it's very important that if you can reuse some stuffs, and that's something which will cut a lot of at least expense for you. Make sure to do that. Try to do some DIY stuff sort of thing. It's all available in YouTube. You should try and figure out that also. Talking about this recurring expenses, it would be in the range of 12 to 13K. So overall, I think it's very important from the recurring expense point of view that you do your research and make sure that you optimize it. Don't go for a very fancy investments, because I think the travel needs to be in a right budget so that you can go on and you don't have to take that hard bill.